Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we have the Star Wars Bad Batch Cad Bane Bracca figure. I was at the Frankenstein show on Wednesday night to pick up the Dark Trooper, and I saw this at Toy Arena, and so I went and picked it up, and they gave me a good discount because I buy so much from them, which is probably a red flag. But I wanted to get this unboxed for you guys and compare it to the other Cad Bane that we have in the Black series. So let's take a look at those boxes side by side just to start. You can see that some elements of the sculpt have been reused, but honestly I'm pretty surprised for the most part how much of this is new. So let's take a look at the box art. On the new Bad Batch Cad Bane, we have this really cool art on the top from the episode of the Bad Batch. So we've got Cad Bane and Hunter shown up there. And of course the illustration of the character itself is all brand new. But let's go ahead and open up this new figure. And please pay close attention to how the hat goes flying right as I open this package. It shot like 20 feet. But now let's take a look at the figure itself now that we have it out of the package safely. This is a new head sculpt, a brand new hat, and then a lot of the elements of the figure itself, like the boots and the upper arms, or at least the shoulder pads, are new. And you'll see when we compare it to the original figure which pieces have been reused and which are new overlays. Before we do that, let's take a look at some of the basic articulation here. Nothing too surprising. If you've handled the Clone Wars Cad Bane figure, you kind of know what to expect here. Here's a better look at the boots and the lower legs, as well as the knee articulation. I think overall this is a pretty great figure. It is a little tight in some areas. The elbows and the knees don't go too far back, but Cad Bane's a pretty cool guy. He doesn't really go into these super dynamic poses too often. So let's see how the head sculpt looks under this hat here. This is a new head sculpt, and the face actually has, it almost looks like dry brushing, like it has kind of these darker undertones with a lighter highlight. You'll see when we compare it to the Clone Wars figure how the faces are slightly different. But let's get his hat back on for now and bring in the Clone Wars figure. Seeing side by side, they are basically the same height. The one on the left is just a hair taller, I believe, but we do have a different head sculpt here, and the entire casing around the head, or whatever that head wrap is called, is new. His little tubes are the same, and it looks like his lower arms are the same, and so these are probably the same arms with just different overlays on the shoulders between the two. It looks like the neck piece is the same, and the same kind of articulation that we've seen before. And for the legs, we probably are looking at the same thing, same crotch and thigh piece, and then the one on the right has a little bit of the overlay over the thighs. But we do have different boots here to properly represent the character, and it looks like the feet are exactly the same. At this point, I accidentally mixed up the two hats on the figure, so I had to reshoot the entirety of the rest of the video, which was kind of a pain, but let's go into that now. Looking at the hats, the new hat for the Bad Batch version is much smaller. The brim is a lot less cartoonish, even though he still is a cartoon in this series, but you can see it gives a little bit more of a realistic proportion to the figure as a whole, and I feel like it makes the head look a little bit more appropriately sized for the body than the one on the right. The one on the left just feels like it could live in live action a little better than the one on the right. And here's how that looks when it is reversed. You can see it kind of messes up the proportions just a little bit. And speaking of the bad bitch, let's bring in Hunter and Crosshair. This new Cad Bane fits in perfectly with these two, and I like the little bit of green on his boots, bringing out the subtle green in Crosshair. And then he's also got those warm tones up top that are a little bit more saturated than we would see in live action, but it kind of brings out the red in Hunter as well. And since you guys liked seeing this so much last time, I'm going to show you Frederick's Figures Book of Boba Fett Cad Bane as well, which has much more human proportions. It actually feels like a guy in a suit, which it was, and the helmet is a lot more straight brimmed, more accurate to the live action version. But I just wanted to give you guys a look at all three of these together. So I hope this helped inform your decision on whether or not to buy this figure. Leave a comment and let me know if you will be picking this up or not. Otherwise, please leave a like, please subscribe if you enjoyed this video, and I will see you all next time.